My apologies. I lost everybody, but I've been having some connection problems. So, what is that? Oh, okay. Let me get us all set up again. My apologies, folks. Got cut off here, but we about to get it right here. All right, I'm back with it. All right, few of us are back. Let me see where we at. What direction? We're back on Wyatt Live on YouTube, on the personal page, on Wyatt Live. Let me see if I got the privacy off. Okay, let's go to the groups and send it to our groups. My apologies. And we're gonna skip them. They don't really rock with us, so we just gonna move on with them. All right, my apologies, yo. We back. I believe we're back. Let me make sure that I got everybody up on YouTube, Twitter. We back. All right, here we go. Let me make sure. What's good? I am the only one back. Crystal Hawkins says, "No, you were the first one back." Yo Underwood say we back. Stephanie Hyde, hi fam, ready for topics. Today's topic. What's good with you, cuz? All right, sorry, I dropped off. I fell off. Everybody's coming back in now. We're starting to get back in motion. My apologies. Y'all know how it is. There go my sister. I got to pick a bone with her today. Thea Williams. I am not letting your ass off the hook today. We ain't about to go back and forth. I ain't tongue wrestling with your ass today, sis. I ain't tongue wrestling with your ass today, sis. But I see what you did. You went on the internet. You got the whole damn half of the damn law homes and Lincoln courts on my ass. You got every woman in Cincinnati hating me right now. That's all right. I seen your post. Yeah, Thea Williams, I seen your shit. Yeah. No, it ain't no it's time for the beat your kids ass in topic. Hell no. It ain't no beat the kids ass topic right now. We about to finish up, and I'm getting the last word. And I ain't tongue wrestling with you today. Linda Reed say, "Hey, what we hating you for today?" Hey, at least somebody got to say it. All right, here we go. People getting back in. I'm sorry. We started on time. Where all y'all late asses been? We started on time and the film got cut. Like they disconnected us at YouTube and Facebook and all that. We've been sitting here waiting for y'all. Y'all know I'm lying, right? We started at 5:15, but then we had some technical difficulties, so we back at it right now. Welcome to Wyatt Live, the 5 p.m. drive home show. I appreciate you all being here. Thea Williams, I am going at your ass today. Justin Sharp say you through, bro. I can't help you. Yeah, your wife's sitting there. Your wife's sitting there, and that's cool. I don't need y'all no way. I got it. I got it. I don't look. I ain't never depending on none of y'all to have my back when it came to arguing with these ladies anyway. Anyway, it's been like that for almost 3 years now, and I'm gonna keep on doing what I do, telling the truth about them. CK says, I'm eating a hungry man at work, Wyatt. The hungry man, that's the extra one. You get an extra piece of chicken in that one, don't you? I ain't laughing, bro, at you. I'm laughing like because I remember them days, bro. Like I used to eat hungry mans all the time. It was Little Caesars. This was on the come up. Little Caesars and them damn TV dinners. They don't even talk about TV dinners anymore. I used to look, the meatloaf and the chicken TV dinners was the shit. All right. I mean, I'm just being honest with you. Y'all know I'm under the weather, right? So I'm gonna pull this one. I'm gonna put everything on my back and I'm gonna pull this one. All right, we're gonna make this shit happen today. We're gonna do a light show. It's gonna be real quick. He said, hell yeah, that's the extra piece of chicken. It's accurate. You damn right. I know exactly. It's the red box. If it's still the same. I used to dog them things, man. And they was quick. Thank God for microwaves. Because when I was a child, you had to leave them damn things in the oven for 10, 15 minutes. That was too damn long. Now I can put a TV dinner, and I still eat TV dinners occasionally. When shit get rough, you know, like I always buy emergency. When I go to the grocery store, I buy emergency shit. You know, like stuff that don't nobody want to cook or nothing like that. So what I do is I stack a couple of frozen pizzas up. I stack a couple TV dinners up and put them in the corner. That's for them days when shit gets slow. Nobody feel like cooking and all that old shit. Yeah. And I pop it in the microwave for that minute and 30 seconds. I'm like, damn, I got a whole meal here. And some of y'all already know what you're going to say. TV dinner ain't no real meal. Well, I grew up on TV dinners. I grew up on not good meals. How about that? Every day wasn't a Sunday meal. Every day was not a Sunday meal. We had our moments. But shit, Monday through Friday, I was on my own. I had to make it happen. And back in the day, I cut the oven on, 15 minutes. I got me some chicken, the little bitty ass corn in the side, little bitty corn, and that nasty ass, which I thought was nasty, but I smashed it, that little bitty ass dessert. Who remember the little bitty dessert about that size right there? And it was, what was it? It was brownie. Yeah, that brownie. And you can never really pick it up. Every time you try to get the brownie out with a fork or with your hand or whatever, it would break. Or it just never was one piece brownie. You had to eat it out of the little thing. Y'all know what I'm talking about. If you ain't never had no TV dinners as a child, get off this live right here. You ain't gonna relate to nothing we doing over here. We'll holler at you. We'll holler. Anyway, listen, I want to thank everybody for coming in. This was going to be a rough one. I'm under the weather a little bit. I'm going to do the best I can, and we're going to make it pop. Couple things before I get to the topic. Couple things. Athea Williams, you on Wyatt Live jail. Sister, she done went over and did some different shit, y'all. I got to put her on blast. Let me tell you what she did. The conversation we had yesterday, she then went and turned it and tossed it and twisted it all up. She then went all over the place with that shit. She then went on there and said, look, ladies, the post. She put a post out directly to the ladies of Cincinnati. My sick ass brother yesterday said the dumbest shit in the world. She was nice about it. She was nice and nasty. My sick ass brother says he's sick. No, he was not feeling good yesterday, kind of sick. Not that he's sick, like in the head. She went on there on a post and put me out all like I was on some old male chauvinistic shit, talking about he said that all women, and then says most women hate on each other. What y'all think? And sis, as much as I love you, I got to checkmate your ass again today. How many Facebook friends do you have, and how many do you generally get responses from? You're a very popular woman. Everybody love you because they know you got a good ass heart. You do shit for people, and people love you. Okay, I got no problem with that. But you only have few that came in and talked that shit you was talking. The majority of your friends on Facebook or wherever else you sent this in the universe, the metaverse or wherever, they didn't say shit. You know what they were saying? The ones that said something about me, not necessarily personally because they don't know me. Their attack was, oh, he must get denied. He must have a low self-esteem. The ladies must not like him. It was always about me, in their opinion. Oh, no, girl, I dress up for my husband all the time. See, you got to understand, my reference of what I said had nothing to do with women that have a husband. It ain't had shit to do with a woman that had high self-esteem in herself. It had nothing to do with that. It had absolutely nothing to do with that. It was none of them. Let me see if I can find this. Let me see if I could find this. I definitely got to find this one. Let me see if I can find what I'm talking about. Um, Let me see if this is it. Yeah, this might be it. This might be it. It's not put on real good. It's not put on real good, but let me see if I can transfer this over. I'm gonna show you the women I'm talking about. I wasn't even prepared to do this, but I'm gonna show you the ones I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the classy ones. I'm talking about the ones that y'all know who I was talking about. And unfortunately, my fellas, they don't step up to the plate. They ain't gonna step up to the plate and defend me. They just gonna let my ass dangle out there. And it's cool. I'm used to it. But sis put it out there way crazy. He said he said we just all hate on each other. So here come the ladies talking that shit about me. He must have low self-esteem. All the ladies must tell him no. All this old shit. And them the same ones that I can guarantee you see a nice looking lady and hate on her ass. Don't like her motherfucking shoes. Look at her shoes. Love the shoes. Go ahead, tag their ass. What they gonna do? They gonna disagree with me and keep on being the way they been. Let me say what's up to some people. I'm moving on. I thought I'd just get the last word. Y'all know I'm sick, but I'm moving on. I ain't worried about it. I shouldn't even have brought it up. I just wanted the world to know how you curved me, how you did me. She went out there and told a whole different narrative. Look at that. She tagging their asses now. You're going to have a stormtrooper ass worth of haters hollering at Wyatt Live talking about some he's sick. He don't know what he's talking about. Ladies don't hate on ladies. Y'all act like I made that shit up. You act like I made that shit up. That's information I got from your clan, from ladies. You hate me now. Wait till you hear this shit I talk about today. Watch this. Hey, Crystal Hawkins, what's good? Yo, Underwood's in the building. Stephanie Hyde, what's happening, cuz? Athea Williams, that's who I'm on right now. What's good, sis? We about to have a little fun with it. Miss Pittsburgh is in the building. What's happening? Miss Pittsburgh, put in the comment, are you actually in Pittsburgh? Or are you just a Steeler fan and just trying to get on everybody's nerve with that shit? I'm just curious. Because we Bengal Who They fans over here. Are you just here to agitate us or something? Because we got y'all this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. Don't the Bengals play the Steelers this weekend? Yeah. My Charleston White. Yeah. Kenneth Jones, what's good? Stephanie Hyde, Lewis Johnson, Athea Williams again. Linda L. Reed, what's up? Justin Sharp, what's happening with you? Crystal Hawkins, I said, what's up? Black Not Democrat, what's good? He said, what up, Wyatt Live? Will crackhead Hunter Biden's laptop bring down the Biden crime family? Absolutely. They're going to talk about it. I'm sure of that. Most people don't know what the fuck you're talking about, Drop. They don't watch conservative news channel. They don't watch that shit. They don't know what you talking about right now, bro. Just like don't nobody talk about inflation. Nothing but them other channels. Everybody just think right now shit just costs more. That's it. Their explanation right now of why prices are high is they just high. And then they hear one rumor, it's Putin's war. So now I'm paying all this shit I'm paying all these high ass prices at the gas pump and at the grocery store because of Putin. Some are easily fooled. Yo, Underwood is in the building. Lewis Johnson, CK is in the building. Stephanie Hyde. Let me see how these things are moving so fast. McConnell, what's good, brother? Who else we got here? Got a few more. They moving really, really fast. Let me try to catch up. Sean D. Nutter, what's happening with you, brother? Brenda Early is in the building. She said, happy Thursday, y'all. LaDonna Howard, what's good with you? Let me see who else we got. Got some people being tagged, it looks like. Let's see here. Things are moving fast. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm doing the best I can. I'm moving with it. Miss Pittsburgh said, no way. I am originally from Pittsburgh, but I am here in Cincinnati visiting. Yes, I'm real life still a fanatic, and we going to kick off in that butt come Sunday. I'm headed to the game Friday. All right. All right. Y'all heard what she said. So now everybody understand why I'm about to block her ass, right? Everybody know why this is about to be a block moment. Wyatt Live. Click. I'm just playing, Miss Pittsburgh. You welcome here. Just don't start that Steelers shit and don't be waving no yellow towels while we on the air. Stephanie Hyde says Pelosi has flown the coop. She is out. Of course she out. I got a story to tell y'all about her. Look at Althea calling in the Warriors. Y'all remember this? I got to put my battle shit on then. She calling in the Warriors. Let's get it then. Shit. Dink, 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 dink. Warriors, come out and play. Warriors, come out and play. Who remember that shit? From the famous, what was that? 1979 Warriors. What was that? I forgot. Yeah. The Warriors. Let's see here. My ladies are in the building. Okay. Okay. All right. I hear you. Will Johnny Gonzalez, what's good? He says it's good to watch both sides of the news. I've been trying to tell everybody that. Jenny Molan, what's good? She's in the building. Let me see who else we got here before we get into this. I don't want to miss anybody. AP, what's good? Anthony Prosser's in the building. Outsiders. It wasn't no, see how she be off? See how she be off? My sister Althea Williams called the Warriors outsiders. See? And she probably sitting there arguing with me right now. No, it wasn't. 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 It's called The Warriors. The Outsiders was a whole different movie. Whole different movie. Dominique Finley, what's good, sis? She says, oh, really? Y'all know Dominique don't like me at all. Dominique don't like my ass at all. She loves to hate me. Love to hate me. And if we ever went out and had like some wings or something, she'd probably end up being my best friend. I promise you. Let's see here. Let me see here. I'm talking about Derek Dickey team. I don't know nothing about that. Is that the owner of the Colts? Wyatt, you are a riot full of jokes, cuz. Oh, well, I'm serious. Kenneth Jones, the Warriors did it. That's right. Can you please tell Althea Williams it was the Warriors and not the damn outsiders? That wasn't Pony Boy in them. It was not Pony Boy in them. Tracy Dillingham is in the building. Stick around, sis. We got some real shit to talk about today. I'm having fun right now. Sick and all. But we're going to have some fun with it today. It's not necessarily fun. We're going to do some informational shit. McConnell, what's good? He says the Warriors was the shit. You sure it was the Warriors and not Pony Boy and them over at the damn Outsiders clique thing? Can somebody tell Althea Williams it was not the Outsiders? Because you know I can't tell her shit. I can't tell her nothing. LaDonna Howard was good. Tracy Dillingham said K. Dominique, she says, I don't hate you. I don't hate you. I just don't like some of the things you say. You are a womanizer. Wow. So me repeating what women says makes me the womanizer. Me repeating, you act like I'm like, what's that dude name? What's the dude name who wore the black suit who passed away? What's his name? Y'all, Samuel, what's his name? Samuel. Y'all know who I'm talking about. The brother that used to let the ladies have it. And he would just say shit and just y'all be losing y'all mind because he said some shit because he said by the time you're 30, if you ain't got no man, it's over for you. You know, shit like that. That's kind of like a womanizer. But I go hard for my sisters. You just not around to hear it. Kevin Samuels. Thank you, Kenneth Jones. There's guys on this platform that don't care for me because of how hard I go for the sisters. I go hard for the sisters. Isn't it funny how you never around when I go hard for the sisters? Isn't it funny how when everybody cheering by the shit I say? Thanks, Jenny. When you're cheering, when the females are cheering for what I say about, sometimes the brothers let us down, let y'all down. What y'all never tag motherfuckers at that time. You only tag them when you need backup for your arguments. You never tag them and say, Wyatt over there on some of that one shit. No. Dominique, she says, you always woman bashing. Really? What was the last thing I said about a woman that came from me? Oh, I could tell you. I could tell you. If you can't, I can. I could tell you. I was woman bashing probably when I said this. Women can't raise men. And the reason why you would probably say that that's a bash on a woman is because women have been raising men. I know people that get through high school that can't read. Get it? I know people that have been successful at doing things. I know people that have made it through their whole life and were illiterate. Just because you can't do something don't necessarily mean things can't get done or there's not exceptions to the rule. And just because a man is birthed by a woman and she raised him by himself like my mother did, don't mean that my mother raised me to be the man, to be the right kind of man. I put that on me. I put that on me. So can you think of anything other than what I may have said, other than women can't raise men? Can you say anything else that I have said that's been woman bashing? You know what that sound like to me, Dominique? That sound like the same people that say I bash black people for telling some truth about us. I'm that too. I'm black too. I'm a single son. I'm a single child raised by a 14-year-old mother, 15-year-old mother. So I can't speak the truth, right? Even when the truth, I'm a victim of the truth. Even when I can tell you such real shit. Even when I can tell you even like the shit that's real is against me, I'm even big enough to say that. See? And you say this. I disagree. I still disagree. Women can raise men. You'll never understand, Dominique. So you're right. You're right. With that logic, I am in your mind considered to be a womanizer, a female basher. Womanizer, not quite that, because you don't hear me talking about women ain't shit. You don't hear me talking about I got 15 women. See, give me your definition of a womanizer. You might want to look that one up because that is what I'm not. I can get away with you saying I bash women because of one comment, because of one belief that I have. But to say that I'm a womanizer, that's a little bit different. That's me saying that they need to be in the house barefoot and pregnant and fixing food and shit. And I've never said that. Keep in mind, I got 2 beautiful black children, having to be females myself. I didn't start respecting women till I was 30 years old when the first one came as my seed. And I'm just gonna be honest with you. I wasn't a woman basher in my early ages, but I didn't respect women the way they were supposed to be respected. And that trait has continued on with a lot of other men that don't hear what I'm saying. And the reason why a lot of men don't respect women is because of how they were raised. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? It's the way they were raised. If they had a man, it would be a little bit different. The child, I'm saying. If the child had a man in his life, it would be a little bit different. I do. Althea says, we need you to start respecting women more, at least speak more on the good ones, not the bad ones. What? Do you know fellas don't even listen to me hardly anymore because of the shit that I say about women? Don't y'all don't hear that? And I know the people that you tag don't hear that, because when I talk good about women, you don't tag them. It's only when I start the shit that you want to argue about. The truth of the matter is, I didn't say child support. I went to bat for the child support. I went to bat of why women are by themselves. I put that. That's why guys don't come to bat for me when the shoe is on the other foot. That's why they don't come to my defense. No, you remember that shit you said last week? Okay, keep that same energy, bro. Womanizer. Because I said what? Because I said what? And then your friends, Athea said, I felt that way because of rejection. Rejection? Okay. All right. Moving on. Moving on. Let's see, who is it? Yeah, we got one in here. I don't know if Kenneth Jones keep getting at me. He said something like women. He said what I said. Women carry this planet on their backs unnecessarily. Crystal Wheelwright, what's good, sis? I've always said that. And who did I say fault it is that women are doing it all on their own? Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, having a 14-year-old mother and then having brothers and sisters more than I even know and can't find them and don't know any of them. I don't know how many I know how many brothers and sisters I have that's been told to me. But my mother, I got a brother that's less than a year from another woman, a brother that's less than a year older than me, less than a year older than me, and got sisters and brothers and all this old shit that I don't even know. So was this because my mother was a bad woman or a bad young lady? No, it was because my father and my real father wasn't shit. Wasn't shit. Didn't have no problem going out getting a whole bunch of women pregnant. Didn't have a problem. And y'all say I don't keep shit real about that. I say that's our biggest problem, is the fact that our men has failed our women. I've always said that. I ain't changing up, and you ain't here to convince me that I haven't been that way. I've always said this type of shit. Now, I will defend my position. I will defend my position with anybody. I speak from experience. I don't speak from just emotion, none of that. Everything that I deal with, the topic that we having today, the reason why I wanted to bring this topic up, and it's gonna piss a lot of people off, but I want to bring a different perspective to it. I'm gonna bring a different perspective to it. And the reason why I say that is this. I've always been the one to tell people that I didn't believe as many whoopings as I got. You can't grow up in law homes. You get whoopings on the way home when you do bad shit. Grow up in law home and I ain't never see a kid in law homes not get a whooping that came outside to play. CK said, Wyatt, they talking about you like you too short or something. I have never called a woman a B or a H on this platform. Never in life. I've never called a woman a bitch to her face. I've never called a woman a H. I've never done any of that. But what I've learned in life is you can never keep everybody happy. If I was man bashing all day, I'd probably be a star on this platform, but I ain't even that type of dude. Y'all know I'm not a chaos agent. I ain't about to just say some shit just so you can cheer. Yeah, yo, Underwood, we going. He said, yo, Wyatt, can you please switch up the conversation? I don't want to fight no more, bro. Yes, we going into our next thing. I don't want to fight no more either. Womanizer. That's a good one. That's a good one. I wouldn't be here either if I was a womanizer. I mean, like, I wouldn't, if I was a woman, I wouldn't come visit this platform either if I was a womanizer. Linda Reed says, I can't hear anything. Back out and come back. Is it me? Can everybody hear? Back out and come back. Well, she can't hear. She ain't hear me say that. But back out, come back in. Boy, y'all gonna have to say, y'all gonna be meeting down on Vine and shit, fighting and shit. Athea said, Underwood, yeah, because I'm tired of going to your body. Y'all crazy, boy. Y'all know my Cincinnati. I know my hood now. I know my hood suburb people. Some of y'all live out in them suburbs and them nice neighborhoods, got nice cars and shit, running your own businesses now. But I know where you from. Some things bring it out of you. Some things bring it out of you. Some of these conversations bring it out. All right, let's get to the topic at hand. But before we do, I got a special announcement. It ain't really special, but it looks like Nancy Pelosi is about to get up out the House. She's not going to be the gavel person anymore. She's not going to be the Speaker of the House. Y'all know Nancy Pelosi, right? Y'all favorite woman. Nancy Pelosi. It looks like the Democrats have lost the House, so the Republicans will be taking over now. They'll have a majority. They hit the 218 mark today. Okay. Nancy Pelosi is now saying that she is no longer going to be in office. She's not doing it anymore. She's not going for re-election. None of that shit. She's over with. If you notice the picture that I just put up, this is when, and I always thought Nancy Pelosi was a sharp older lady. Like she would put shit on. She would throw it on. Like I always thought she was sharp, older lady. Like her suits, everything was put together well, respectfully. She always had very nice coordinations in her outfits and all that shit. But then I seen her do some things and say some things. And you know what? Nancy Pelosi been up there for 35 years. Okay? She's been speaking for people in the Democratic Party. She's been talking about how shit ain't fair. She ripped up the speech when Trump was talking, when he was in office, and that was the night that he said his speech, and everybody gets a copy of it, and she ripped that shit up right in front of him. I thought it was uncouth. I thought it was, who wants to see that from their leadership? I mean, I'm not pounding on her, but I think if Trump would have did the same thing to her, y'all would still be talking about that shit today. Y'all would still be talking, because I seen him throw some damn paper towels at people in a disaster, in a storm. And y'all, I would have thought he threw grenades at their ass, as tough as y'all made it for him when he did that. I don't know what y'all thought he was going to do, pull canoes and boats and shit out for everybody. They gave him a box of handy wipes, and he threw the shit out in the office, in the audience. What else you want him to do at that time? He said we going to have aid coming. Millions of dollars are going to come aid you. Y'all mad because the man threw handy wipes. That's what they handed him. Y'all went in on the man. But look, here's my issue with Nancy Pelosi. Let me put up another picture of Nancy. I've always had an issue with people that are super rich and always argue for people like the poor people. She's super rich, $300 and something million rich. Malibu homes in several areas rich. Stock market rich, portfolio rich, IRA. And she made a pretty good damn salary off of taxpayer dollars. And she reinvested those taxpayer dollars to become even richer on the Wall Street move with her husband. But what her fight was every day was the American people. Here's the issue that I have about people that talk that American people shit. You don't even live like the average American person. I don't want somebody that's not living like me to be representing me when my failures enrich you even more. Did y'all hear what I just said? Let me take this down. I don't want somebody. Why is it that y'all can see through preachers that drive nice cars? They congregation come in just fucked up. Some, not all. People come in with issues and problems and have financial issues and give them the money. And they thinking, all right, you put money and you tithe, you give money and God will bless you. You ain't got no problem thinking that's some bullshit. But you ain't got no problem. But you have a problem not understanding how somebody who can flex and come up there occasionally and even go to the extremes of doing some shit like this. If y'all didn't, I'm gonna put a picture up. When she did this shit right here, if y'all didn't fall off on that bullshit that they pumping over there, you never will. But this was the ultimate bullshit move that a person like this could possibly make. Now y'all know I had to bring this out of the archive. When Nancy Pelosi and them put down on a knee in solidarity and had on them damn African, what they call that shit? Y'all know what it is. Had them African scarves on and shit. I about fell out my office that day. I had a very, very hard, bad day that day. I literally had I fired somebody that worked for me that day. I was so pissed off. You couldn't leave a little drop of Kool-Aid in the refrigerator in the office. I'd fire your ass that day. Because I said, if my people don't see what's going on here, y'all ain't gonna never get it. Y'all got to understand, this is a divide here that's purposely put in place, and it's balanced and scaled that way. The Republicans and the Democrats, they make the same money upstate. They make the same money up in DC. It's scheduled to be this way. They all make the same money and they all make the same investments. And you got the good versus the evil and the evil versus the good and this and that, the pullback and the pushback and this and that. The bickering and the fighting and all that shit is to just keep you off balance. You do know when they fail at doing what they're doing, it continues them to be employed. It's a give and give and a lose and lose at the bottom. You do realize that, right? You do realize that, right? Let me ask you something. Would you go to a church and your pastor was worth $300 million? Would you put a fucking nickel in the plate? Your pastor is worth 300. Oh, am I pocket watching? Because it all makes sense. Would you go to a church where your pastor and his wife are worth $300 million? If you go, that's fine. But I bet you your ass wouldn't put $1 in the plate. They don't need my money. And then if he was in church and he was preaching about how messed up the world was and how everybody can't get no money and blah, blah, my first question would be like, Pastor, why the fuck you getting it? Can somebody help me? Mr. Pastor, why is all this shit so bad for us, but it's working out for you? Isn't that a great question to ask the people up in DC? Isn't that a great question to ask Nancy Pelosi, who's fighting for the people? Why is this shit working out so well for you, Miss Pelosi? How is it that you were able to accumulate $300 million while in DC? You and your husband are rich as hell. But you fighting for us? Oh, I get it. And then nobody looks at the portfolio and says, well, damn, every time they get something passed, they're invested in the companies that deal with what's going on. The energy companies. They are invested in that. I'm just trying to understand why we think people, and then when are we, let me just say this and I'll go on to my next thing, because this ain't what I'm talking about. When are we going to understand? Oh, yeah. I'm sorry about that. Let's put up the screen comments. My apologies. My apologies, guys. Thank you, Athea. She said, do I have screen comments today? My apologies, y'all. I'm, tripping. When are we going to start asking the question? We've been, Nancy Pelosi, let's say, bless her heart, let's just say that everything she's been arguing about, the Democrats and all that, everything y'all been arguing about and putting black people in these arguments, well, she's been there 35 years, and she's still saying the shit she was saying 35 years ago. Been fighting for the same shit, doing the same shit 35 years now. So when are we going to say enough is enough? When is this shit going to kick in? All the stuff that y'all been fighting for, when is it going to kick in? Now, we done had a lot of black folks in the Capitol, senators, state representatives. We even had a black president. And to this day, we still talking about the same shit we've been talking about since this lady got in office. The last time I checked, anything that did that, it was always a game, just like crypto. Here come the crypto crash. It's always been a game attached to the weird shit, the shit you can't never figure out. There's always a game to it. I'll tell you another game. Isn't it weird how every time a black guy get killed in our neighborhoods, you got all these unsolved mysteries and shit, all these unsolved situations. How long does it take them to find the killer of a police officer or a high-profile individual? They drop everything they doing. That's a game. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But it seems to be that way. You hear something that go wrong out in California, Nancy Pelosi husband get the shit beat out of him and all that. That dude in custody right away. I know he was still at the house. But y'all seen the police officers that got shot out in LA. They found the dude in North Carolina like 2 days later. Like, how you do that? Some people know what I'm talking about. Some people know that there's precedent, that there are times that they want people caught. And then there's sometimes that it's just not that important. We can figure that out. I'm just saying that that's how it is sometimes. All right, so Nancy Pelosi is gone. And she says, please don't vote. I'm not running again. I'm gonna put this up one last time. Nancy Pelosi, with your $300 and something million, don't let the freaking door hit you on your way out. And I'm gonna be honest with you. This lady had a very difficult job. She had a very difficult job ahead of her because these younger politicians, AOCs and all them people, they was going to give her the business because they want that position. They going to give her, they was giving her the business. They want that seat. They wanted that power to push through their agendas. Yeah, they did. The other thing, today there was a press conference, last thing. There was a press conference. None of y'all seen it. I shouldn't say none of y'all because this is Wyatt Live and we got some very informative people. Let me say it like this. A lot of us didn't see it. And the reason why a lot of us didn't see it is because we don't tend to watch the stories. We don't watch the news that tell certain stories. I'll prove it to you. Today, the Republicans who took the House, the Senate, took the House today. Excuse me, they took the House. They did a news conference at the Capitol. The Capitol. Dropping news bombs at the Capitol. There was 3 people there. 2 of them had cell phones and was recording it. And there was 1 news camera there from a conservative news station. Nobody else was interested in the shit. Nobody went live when the new House, who has the majority, came forward and made a breaking news announcement of what they gonna do. And they said they about to start these investigations about some information that has been out forever that the feds won't bring forward. And it's about, yes, Will says, the laptop. Well, it's more than just the laptop. And I know everybody want to hear all the shit about what's going on with Mar-a-Lago, and they want the raid, and they want to talk about January 6th all day and every day. This is what the news, we talk about rap music and why is it so popular. If you put it in rotation enough, motherfuckers start loving that song. People start loving that song. You control the rotation and you control the mind. So if you hear about January 6th enough, it's the worst thing in the world that happened. It's worse than 9/11. 3,000 people died. 9/11. America finally had a war on its hand on its own soil. Ain't been like that since the Civil War. Never been a war in America until Civil War and 9/11. But the Capitol raid, not one, well, it was a gunshot. Came from a Capitol police officer. So this is what's going on. CNN, who black folks love, wasn't in the building. They was there. They was recording it, but they wasn't going to go live because they can't set the narrative. MSNBC, I'm sure they were there. They was recording it, but they won't go live because they don't want to hear it in the contents that is being said. What they want to do is fragment it. They want to take what people are saying, fragment it, and then have Joyce, all the Don Lemonades and all them rearrange it and turn it into a narrative the way they want you to perceive it. They don't want you to hear it in its proper context. Now, I ain't saying what they're saying is all right, but what they want you to do, they're going to dumb down what they're trying to do. They're going to dumb down the information and call it exactly what Trump and them been saying, or it's a wild witch chase. That's what's coming. And then when y'all finally find out that this is the shit that they've been talking about and investigating behind the scenes that other stations and platforms have not let you hear about, they don't focus in on it. Here's what would have been fair. This would have been fair. If everybody, because this is at Capitol Hill, you would think that everybody that does politics would want to hear what the hell the majority is talking about now and what they plan on doing in day one. That's not important to CNN live? Oh, wait a minute. CNN went live when they raided the Trump house down there in Mar-a-Lago. They went live and showed the FBI kicking in the door and all that old shit. MSNBC did too. They went live when the GA said we got this case on Trump. They went live. Little bitty ass small press room in New York. The general turned the attorney general, the AG, excuse me, I said GA, the AG went live, and all these channels was there because they wanted to hear all the charges. And these were civil charges. I know everybody waiting for them criminal charges, but I told y'all, Cat Williams and Donald Trump, the same person. You'll never see them in the same room. They get all these charges put on them, but they don't never go to jail. Because some of us understand what civil charges are, and some of us understand what criminal charges are. And as long as you keep messing it up somebody, now here's the thing. It ain't fun when the rabbit got the gun. Now with these Republicans having the House, now y'all gonna start hearing some shit about the other guy. Oh, excuse me, the big guy. CNN ain't never talked about the big guy. MSNBC ain't never talked about the big guy. You really, see, we always want to talk about who's stealing money and who this and this and that. Do you really want to know? Do you really want to know how dirty these guys are? Or do you want to put your head in the sand? Or is it just something that people just gonna be saying just to dirty up Mr. President Joe Biden's name? Isn't it? If I was a viewer of CNN, I would ask, why didn't y'all go live so we could hear what the majority is going to start doing against our president. Don't leave me uninformed. I want to know. They're going to let you see it, but they're going to let you see it after they dumb it down. They're going to splice it. They're going to fragment it. They're going to say, and he said this and he said that and blah, blah, blah. They're going to break it down for you the way you need to be. They're going to teach it to you the way they want to teach it to you. And I just want to know something right here, black folks, and I'm going to move on. My white family, y'all just ignore this. Don't ignore it. Just know that we're going to have this little sidebar conversation for a hot second. Don't get offended. Black folks, let me ask y'all something. When are we going to stop sitting over in the corner, and when it's time to vote, we have to pick our poison? That's like us sitting in the corner and somebody asks you, how do you want to die? Pick either a gun. Do you want to be done? Do you want a gunshot to the head, or do you want a shot and you just fall asleep and never wake up? Who wants to pick a poison? When are we going to pick something that is really valuable to us? You get it? Like, why we always got to be like, well, I'm going to take Biden. I know he ain't really shit, but he better than Trump. That makes no sense to me. That's like saying, well, you know, shit, I ain't going to take the gun. That shit going to hurt. I'm going to take the injection and I'm just going to die slowly. That's how it feels to me. That's how it feels to me. Because when it comes to politics, I don't give a fuck what you promising. Here's what I pay attention to. How much is it costing me to live? How much is it costing me to live every day? That's the most important thing. And that should have been our last thing. That should have been what we was talking about for the last 40 to 50 years. How much is it costing us to live every day? How much is it costing my folks to go to the grocery store? How much is it costing us to get gas? How much is it costing us to heat our homes? How much is air conditioning costing? How much is it costing us to go buy property? Black folks, I'm going to tell you something right now. I don't mean to get all separative on us. Everything that empowers us as a people costs more right now. Who you going to blame for that? I know everybody got these different reasons in that. Everything that costs us, that keep us living every day, costs us more. Now, here's the big thing. Everything that you can get today that enriches you costs more. Black folks, if we want a home right now, we got to pay double, not just us, United States, everybody, every citizen. If you want a home right now, you're going to get less home for your money and you're going to pay double the interest rates right now. Y'all feeling me on this? Is this good? Are you feeling me? I don't like telling bad news. I like to tell the truth, but I like to wake us up to certain things. If we go to the grocery store for Thanksgiving, it's costing us more. We go to the gas station and fill up our tanks, it's costing us more. Heating our home costs us more. Everything we do right now costs us more. Nobody's asking any questions because if you say something, you're going against the grain. Now, let me just ask you this. Some of you, not myself, I don't have a 401k, the traditional 401k. I don't have that. I have a 401k-S. It's a little bit different, and that's because I'm self-employed. But now let me explain something to you. The average 401k right now is down 25%. Do you know how significant that is? That's a third of your money gone. That's a third of your money that you've worked for years gone. Why? Cryptocurrency right now is crashing because it's fraudulent. Who's monitoring that? Who's monitoring that? Who told these guys they can get away with this shit for the last 2 years? You ever notice how the market went up and went up and went up? Crypto's going up. Wall Street's going down. You ever notice that? Why isn't the government on this shit? Oh, it took them to lose $30 billion of fraudulent shit. Not to mention Some of that money was used during the primaries for the Democratic Party. I ain't here to shit on the Democrats. I'm here to be 100 about why everything is going down and costing us more money. Value is going down and prices are going up. If a black man or a black woman or a black family want to buy a home right now, guess what? It's going to cost us twice as much in interest to get half of what we could have had 2 years ago. Somebody explain that shit to me. It ain't the cost of wood. It ain't the nails that they put in to nail. It ain't the dry wood. It ain't that. It ain't that. I might be from Law Homes, but I got some sense. It ain't that. You can run that on some people that don't pay attention to certain things. But sir, I know exactly what it is. I know exactly why we're in the position we're in right now. It ain't Putin's war. Shit was fucked up when they were standing at the border. Before Russia went in there, gas was already $1.30 something, $1.40 higher than it was. It ain't the stuff that can't come off the trucks or out there on the West Coast at the damn, what do they call it, the port out there. It ain't that. You can't keep using the same shit. It ain't that. It's not that. It's the same reason why the majority of us who listen to certain radio stations, TV stations, and podcasts, they don't have these type of conversations. Because if you have these conversations, you might question some of the things that they do put in your face. You might question, like, well, how did that equal that? I carried the two and did all this old shit. I just can't figure this out. I've done everything you asked me to do, and the shit is not working out for me. Why is that? 2 years ago, you could get a home if you paid 3% interest rate. You were right on point. You was right on point. There were people getting 2.75, 2.99. Look at it now. Look at it now. If you are in the market, I hate to say this because I have friends that are in the real estate game, and I hate to say this, but you know I love y'all to death. I really do. I love y'all to death, but I got to be honest with the majority here. This is not the time to buy a home. This is not the time to finance a home. This is not the time to buy property. This is not, unless you can get an unbelievable price and you have somebody that's trying to dump something. Unless you're just getting a steal. This is not the time. This is not the time. This is not the time to put your money in the stock market. I told you guys 2 years ago. What did I say before we got to this point? I know some people are going to be like, damn, you always be doing that. But I got to bring it. I got to refresh your memory sometimes. For y'all who are new here, you don't know I said this. But those that are new, that have been here, you know that I've said this. 2 years ago. Well, it's about a year. A year ago, I said this. I said, go to your HR department and go to your benefits person and tell them you want to reduce the amount that goes into your 401k. Who remember me telling you that? I said it a year ago. It was a little over a year ago. I said, because if you're investing in your 401k right now, you're burning money. I said it. I said, I see where this is going. I said, if you are putting money in a 401k, you're giving away money right now. You're working for free. You're going backwards in the market. It didn't really take a brain surgeon to know that, because I forecast certain things. I just seen exactly where we were going. And it's not just America. I seen what the world was doing. I just pay attention. And then I hear the argument of fuel, energy. And I say to myself, I hear a president who says they're going to demolish the fossil fuel business. And then I look at a country who has no investment. Some of y'all gonna correct me because CNN has planted seeds in your head that we're gonna be fine in this new green deal. I don't know. Let me ask you guys this. How would you feel if I said to you, let me use a name. If I said Linda Matthews, because that's the last comment I seen. If I said, Linda Matthews, guess what? Today is your lucky day. I'm going to help you start your own business. It ain't going to take no money. It ain't going to take nothing out of your pocket. All you need is your time, and you do what you do. There's the restaurant over there. Now you say, I don't want no restaurant, but wait a minute. This is the business that I'm helping you with. So you take that restaurant, and when you get over there, everything's going to be in place for you. Your cook is there. You ain't hired nobody. I hired everybody. I put all the appliances in. Everything looked the way I want it to look. How comfortable would you be going into a business that I set completely up? Would it feel like it's yours? Or would you feel like you work there? Would you feel like you have any control of anything? You putting in all the hours, you working hard in there, you turning the dollars, you're making the deposits in the bank account of the business. But is it really your business? Did you make any business decisions? No, you didn't. So now this Green New Deal and all this old bullshit they talking to us sounds like this to me, okay? We're going to do away with fossil fuel. We're going to do away with all this shit. We're going to go to powered cars. We're going to go to powered homes. We're going to do all this shit. But you're setting me up in this position without any input from me, because that's what's best for us, right? And then I look at it and I say, well, who controls all this tech? Who controls all this energy that we're converting to? Excuse me. Who controls that? And I'm sure if I pose that question to everybody right now, some people can actually answer that. One of my smart guys or girls or women or people, please tell me. If we converted over right now, if we did exactly what they want us to do, who controls it? Who has the mass majority of the technology? Who controls the energy and the pumps and the solar that we put on the homes? Who control all of that? Who has the majority of the tech, the pieces that are needed? Who controls that? Not everybody at the same time answer it. Let me just tell you, okay? Because I see a few people, deep state. You know who controls it? Not us. China does. If we wanted a solar on everybody's house right now, China control that. It didn't have to get signed. Logic Slayer said, bro, the Green New Deal never got signed into law. Even the Dems didn't sign on. It's the concept. So you saying that the principles that America is running on right now is not based off of the concept of the Green New Deal? You telling me, so you've been convinced that there's 9,000 drilling wells out there that we're able to use. They just not using it because they're gouging us at the price at the pumps. You're one of those people that believe that? You're telling me that it's more money in it for the fuel companies to limit how much fuel that they make so they can charge more. That's the way they're going to do it? That's how you think gouging is the right way to do it? It doesn't make sense to me. That's not how I would do it. If I had a whole lot of anything right now, especially when COVID was going on, especially when everybody had a bunch of money. The last thing I want to do is make things scarce. If I can have a plentiful of a product, and I know people got stimulus money, and this, look at what Walmart did. Look at how they upped their inventory when everybody was getting stimulus checks. What you think they gonna do? Buy 5 TVs and then make them double the price? No, they're gonna go in and get 25 TVs and sell them for the MSRP. Right now, if we had everything that Biden was talking about, oh, here we go. Yeah, you drinking it. He says the fuel companies are making record-breaking profits right now. Why would they change anything? They have the reason why they're making, bro, where you look, okay, respectfully. I got other shit to talk about. I really do, but I want you to know something. I want you to know this because you sound like a very smart dude who has or a woman who have adopted a way of thinking that's been put in front of you. Because you technically don't know if they're making high record profits. You're going off what somebody told you. But let me tell you something in business. You know who else is making record profits right now? Take one stab, and you probably would be shocked. Logic. I'm gonna call you Logic if you don't mind. You know who else making record-breaking profits right now? McDonald's, Burger King, fast food restaurants. You know why? You know why, Logic? Because they cut the cost of doing business. Are they selling more hamburgers right now than they've ever sold? No. They just don't have the huge cost of doing business. They're not staying open till 1 a.m. anymore. They're closing at 9 o'clock at night. They're not opening up as early. They're closing earlier. That's why. They're able to buy their stocks back because they're getting their bottom line better. The bottom line is coming out better. That's why. When you have less to do, you can recycle your dollar and it goes to the bottom line. When you recycle and invest in yourself, your profits go up. So if I have less staff to pay because I can't find enough help, if I don't have to pay 30 people on my payroll for the week, I'm down to 15. I'm making more money. I'm working them to death, but I'm making more money. Does that make any sense to you or no? Because a lot of companies in America profits went up. And here's the other thing I didn't like. Disapprove it, and then I'm gonna move on to my main topic because we got to get to it. The reason why I know it's some bullshit is because our president didn't go in and when he had a meeting at the White House and the energy companies were there. The reason why, I'm sorry, I was reading. When they had the energy companies, all the CEOs came to the White House and our president decided to go to a different meeting. You didn't accuse all these guys of gouging. That's what you accuse everybody of doing. And when they came and they rolled, what we call it, when they pulled up on your ass and they sat in those meetings and across the hall, you went into a different meeting. You didn't even go in there and confront them guys and show them they record high profits and talk that shit. You didn't take your staff in there. You didn't even send a representative in there that could speak for you. They went in there to discuss the things that you were saying about their companies. Let's figure this out, Mr. President. Show us how you came up with these accusations. Tell us. And then here's the other thing, and then I'm gonna get off of it. When you blame the local gas stations, you say they're upping the price. See, you didn't went from the motherfucking people who drilling all the way down to the people that's making 10 cents a gallon themselves. We paying $5 a gallon or $4.25, whatever it is. It don't matter. Gas stations don't make money off of gas. They make money because the potato chips and the Snickers and shit cost more. The average gas station makes anywhere from 10 to 12 cents per gallon of gas when you pumping. So how you gonna sit there and blame? You didn't blame. It's the blame game. It's everybody else's fault. And here's the other thing. Here's the icing on the cake. When the gas start going down and the refineries been empty, nobody looking at it like that. What they doing is now taking all the credit for the gas stabilizing. So you'll take the credit when the shit start going down or it becomes stable, but you don't have anything to do with it moving up. Let's move on. Let's move on. Explain why everybody's 401k is down average 25%. Let him explain that. Figure that one out. Figure that one out. All right, let's move on. I ain't trying to hear no educated answers because it's bullshit to me. Yeah, see, where I'm from, we let people come in with all that smart shit, silver tongue people come in with all these logistics and all that old shit, and it pan out to be some bullshit every time. That's why a lot of us fall for it and we end up being in the same rock. That's what I'm used to. I'm used to sitting in front of guys. I know I don't look like it. But I'm used to sitting in boardrooms, and I'm used to guys talking me into being in the boardroom. And I've heard people try to talk me out of money by trying to sound smart. And then all I would always ask them is can you just break it down to an old guy like me? I don't really know all that lingo. I don't really know. But can you be more specific in what you're saying? How does this get to that? And why does this happen for that? I'm that guy. And I'm not when they sound good and they comb their hair to the side and put on the Bill Blast suits and all that. You're not going to run shit off on me like that. See, you're talking to a guy who has lawyers watching lawyers, so I won't go broke. I'm not an easy trick. I'm not an easy fool. If it don't make sense to me, we're going to sit in the classroom all day until the shit becomes clear to me. Yeah, this little boy from Law Homes. I don't mind sounding dumb because I don't know nothing, because after you explain it, then I will know. And then if I know, then I'll make a clear decision and if it's right for me. But I'm not going to sit in front of somebody who look like they smarter than me and try to act like I know what they talking about when I don't. That's for people who don't know no better. All right, so let's get to it. All right, we about to pop it off. Let's go. All right, let me put the video up and put it on cue. I just got a question. Y'all know, pardon me. Y'all know I did a post today. It was a video of a young man who was acting a fool. Now, we didn't see all what he did. Athea said, here we go. Yep, here we go. Now tag them. Tag your crew again. They ain't want to hear that other shit. But anyway, we all know what it is to be young and dumb. I do. I don't know about you. Maybe you've been Miss Goodbar or Mrs. Goodbar or Mr. Goodbar your whole damn life. I don't know. But I know how it is to do some shit that I know is wrong. I'm older now. I used to be able to say majority of my life. I can't say that anymore. I've been better. I've been on the better side and the good side more than I have, more than I've been on the wrong side, let's say. And that being said, I know how it is to do dumb shit out here. Young man goes on social media, waving guns and drugs and shit, weed and all that old shit, talking that kill, 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 talking that rap music shit. And his father gets a hold of it. And he set his son down on the couch, put a video camera up, and went live on a social media platform and went off on his son. Now, I got the video. I just want to set the precedent. The question is, when I play this video, my question to you is, do you think that dad went too far in disciplining his son the way he did? Y'all may disagree with me, but I'm going to give you my perspective after the video from my experience. I've had an experience in my life where I've been, I don't want to say abused, but I've been whooped and handled in public. Y'all got to understand, social media is public now, right? That's considered to be done in public. So let's watch the video and let me see if who agrees or disagrees with the dad. You're going to be shocked at my perspective. You're going to be very shocked at my perspective of this. Let's go on. Let's move on. Let's watch the video. It's a little tough. All right. It's a little tough, guys. But if you got children around, just, get them away for a minute, just for a second.
Now, come help. Come help. Man, quit playing with me. Come help him. These type of kids gonna get you fucked up. That's what I'm saying. These your friends though. Your friend will get your ass beat. If you ever in your fucking life listen to one of them and raise your hand at me, bitch, I will bury you. And bury they dust asses too. Don't fucking play with me, David. This type of shit I'm talking about. These little boys, these little girls gonna get the shit beat out you, boy. Play with me if you want to. You better choose your motherfucking friends wisely. Because right now, you bullshit, nigga. Better tell them your dad not the nigga to play with. I will bury them fucking bitches. I don't care about killing no fucking kids. You better tell them. Before they kill you or before they hurt you, I'll do it. Tell them folks quit motherfucking playing. This shit ain't no motherfucking joke. Fuck wrong with y'all kids. Don't get mad because y'all dust ass parents don't love y'all like I love mine. Now what? Y'all know where he is. Pull up. Help. Come save him.
Okay. It's a little disturbing. It's a little disturbing, just a little bit. I was reading some of the comments. Now, y'all know I'm a big advocate of, I don't think kids, I ain't talking about today's kids. I'm talking about in general, because I got 2 daughters on my own. I've never been an advocate of whooping. Physically hitting your son or your daughters. But I got a lot of ass whoopings growing up. I really did. But I'm a big, strong guy about daddy's being in the home. And what I see here is something that y'all gonna totally disagree with me on. You will disagree with me on this, but you're gonna have to hear me out when I say this. You're seeing a man that's trying to save his son. Hear me out before you start, there go Wyatt on some bullshit. Hear me out. We don't know the history of this man. We don't know how many kids he didn't already had to bury, because that is a common thing in our community. You don't know, and I'm going to tell you why. Let me tell you why. Daddy looked like he been out there for a minute. Y'all might not agree with me, but if I'm gonna run the tape again, okay? Daddy got tats all down his arm. He got shit on his face. He rocking sag. Dad might not want to see his son go down the roads he's been down. I understand where y'all coming from. I get it. But what we don't know is the history of that family. We don't know if he had an older brother or a younger brother that was gang related. We don't know any of that. We don't know if they have already lost a child due to the things that they were involved in, and now his second child is coming into play with the same shit. I'm a big advocate of daddies being in the home. Tough love is necessary sometimes, but let me explain to you what's wrong here. Let me explain to you what's wrong here, but what we're not getting. How many of us got ass whoopings as a kid? We all got ass whoopings as a kid. I did. So I can only speak from that perspective. I got a few, more than I can count. Anybody ever get an ass whooping outside? Did anybody ever get an ass whooping outside, the same court, playground, or whatever? Anybody mama ever tell them go get the switch? And you brought a small one, so her ass went out. She said, if you make me go get it. Anybody ever got an ass whooping on the porch? Anybody ever get an ass whooping outside in front of their friends? Anybody? Anybody ever get an ass whooping at school? Anybody get slapped at church? Anybody get pinched or held on too crazy at church in a public place? Don't act a fool up in here, boy. Anybody ever got snatched in public? Let me tell you why I bring this to the table. Dad don't look no more than 35. So dad is part of what we call this new social media syndrome, whatever I call it, a syndrome. It's a space. It's a way of life now. I'm not saying what he did was right. First of all, let me tell you why I say it's not right, because I don't believe in hitting. What he did is what a lot of our parents have done. It's just he's a parent 2.0 now. The way that these younger people parent is no different than us. They just have different technology to do it. So you telling me that wasn't an ass whooping he got on a playground? Because his playground is the internet, where he was acting a damn fool. You telling me you ain't never got a whooping in a place that you was acting a fool? Your mama ain't never spanked your ass in Kmart? Y'all know that's some old shit. Gold Circle. Your mama ain't never snapped your ass when you was acting a fool somewhere? Your mama ever had to save your life in front of your friends? Like, you know, your friends are the wrong friends to be with. No, you can't be with these motherfuckers. I ain't talking about what you said in the house. I'm talking about what she said in front of your friends. Can't be with these motherfuckers. They ain't for the right thing. You can't be with them. Get your ass in the house. Your mama ain't never checked you out in public. Because that's what this daddy just did. Do I agree with it? No, I don't agree with it when my mama and them was doing it. We in a different world now, y'all. That little boy's life gonna change one of two ways. He either gonna have to deal with the people that watch that shit, his friends, or he gonna avoid that nonsense that his daddy was trying to keep him out of. You ain't tough. Man, I wouldn't even want to live with your daddy. I wouldn't. They ain't gonna mess with that little boy no more. His friends, they ain't gonna mess with him no more. Because they ain't gonna want to have to deal with his daddy. Now, I'm not saying that the dad did the right thing, especially for us old heads. Of course, we would never get on the internet. But look at what 35-year-olds are doing today with their children and disciplining them and having fun with them. Just a year ago, wasn't it a year ago we seen a mother give her 13-year-old a strip party on the internet? He ain't old enough to do nothing, and you went and got him strippers. Now, this is a 30-year-old mama with a 15-year-old son or whatever it is. They living through the internet now. So the internet is where they show how much fun, how much agony. All this is just different for us. So if you get an ass whooping on the internet, to me, it's no different than getting an ass whooping on the playground in front of all your friends. It's no different to me because I can put the two, I can correlate them. I can make it make sense. It makes sense to me that he used the same platform you acting a damn fool on to whoop your ass on it. It makes sense. Am I saying it's right? No. Is it right for you to get an ass whooping at Zayre's, Gold Circle, Kmart, out on the street, at church? Mama couldn't wait. Mama couldn't wait to whoop my ass till we got home. You didn't ask your mama that when she was whooping your ass in public, now did you? I agree with you, Dominique. She said these parents nowadays too busy trying to be your friend than a parent. They too busy trying to be socialites too. They too busy trying to fit into what their kids are doing because they close in age. My mama was only 14, 15 years older than me. I'm 15, she 30. The fuck? That I'm 20, she 34. I'm 21 and can get in a club. She 35, 36. She can get in that same club. We can run and man together. See what I'm saying? But with this new thing today, y'all don't think that I'm justifying what this man did. I just want y'all to know my argument at the beginning was, why you do that shit on the internet? But then I had to think about it. I probably would have, my mama probably would have fussed and cussed at my ass if the internet was there too. Now you got to keep in mind, let's put the mentalities in place now. Let's put the mentalities in place. Back in our day, the same parent that'll whoop your ass in public would put your ass on blast on public on today's social media. They would do it. Now you probably sitting there thinking, no, mama, not my mama. My mama wouldn't do no shit like he just did to his son. If you got an ass whooping outside, she did. She did it. If your mama ever gave you a wedgie dragging your ass in the house and all your friends are watching, your mama is the same one that just did what that man did. He whooped his son. He whooped his son's ass in front of the same platform, the people that he was acting a fool. I know that's hard for us to take in and understand, but we're talking about a daddy that's 30, 35 years old, y'all. We're talking about a daddy that's probably, based on how he looked, it's a pure assumption. He probably funning with the internet his damn self. Hat to the back, tats. He looked like he didn't been through some things. He looked like he was trying to keep his son out of them things. Is he winning Dad of the Year from me? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. But I can tell you one thing. I know daddies that look just like him and they splitting dope with their sons to dub up out here. I'd rather see this man be that disrespectful, keeping his son away from all the shit that he was talking about versus being out here putting his son in danger and have to bury his son before his son bury him. I see this a couple different ways. Y'all might not agree. He challenged his son's friends. He challenged them. Now, let's run it back. Now, that's some bullshit. He don't look no 50 years old. Let's run it back.
Now, come help. Come help. Man, quit playing with me. Come help him. These type of kids gonna get you fucked up. That's what I'm saying. These your friends, though. Your friend gonna get your ass beat. If you ever in your fucking life listen to one of them and raise your hand at me, bitch, I will bury you and bury they dust their asses too. Don't fucking play with me, David. This type of shit I'm talking about. These little boys, these little girls gonna get the shit beat out you, boy. Play with me if you want to. You better choose your motherfucking friends wisely. Cause right now, you bullshit, nigga. Better tell them your dad is not the nigga to play with. I will bury them fucking bitches. I don't care about killing no fucking kids. You better tell them. Before they kill you or before they hurt you, I'll do it. Better tell them folks quit motherfucking playing. This shit ain't no motherfucking joke. Fuck wrong with y'all kids. Don't get mad because y'all dust-ass parents don't love y'all like I love mine. Now what? Y'all know where he is. Pull up. Help. Come save him.
You might be right. He might be closer to 40. He do have a little bit of age on him. I was going by basically how he was, looking with the tats and shit. And then he had, he had some drip on and the son couldn't have been no more than maybe 20. He ain't no more than 19, 20 years old, but he might be 40. I don't know. He might be. Let's take a phone call. Let me see if I can get a little bit more input on what's going on. Hold on one second, caller. Good evening, caller. You there? This is Wyatt.
Yes, I am here. Good evening, Wyatt. I love you.
Well,
Alicia.
What's going on, sis? Nothing but love. What's happening with you?
Nothing but love. I think that father is out of control. He has no self-control. He's not teaching that young man nothing. And every adult, because I do listen, and I ask every adult, what do you think that his father taught him at the very moment? He was proving a point. He wasn't trying to teach anything. He was trying to embarrass him, humiliate him. He had his son full attention. And that's what I was watching. I was watching the son, if he was being disrespectful gestures, eye rolling, because that's what we got hit for. We got hit for actually being disrespectful at that moment. That young man was sitting next to his father. His hands were not aggressive, flaying in the air, none of that. He was totally submissive to his father. Within 5 seconds of that video, who's ever recording, I can tell it's a female. You have to replay it and then say, why you hit him? And he told her, don't play with me. He looked dead at her and said, don't play with me. And the young man, it's a little boy. He looked about maybe 1 or 2 years old. He's not scared. He's not intimidated. He's not wondering what the heck is going on. He is so used to that environment. That is out of control for me, my opinion. That man wasn't teaching that young man nothing but aggression. Now I see why this young man may have had a weapon. If you get it, there's kids out here that like to be bullied. And if they're bullied, that's usually because they're bullied at home, and they'll go out and they'll practice the same behavior that's taught at home. This young man, that was bullying. You cannot sit and teach your son how to be a man by closing your fist and punching him in the face on social media. There is no way that anybody could say, oh yeah, he's teaching his son a lesson. Of what? I'm waiting. I'm just waiting for an answer. What was that man teaching him in that moment? Because this young man wasn't doing anything disrespectful to him as a father or who's ever holding that camera. I don't know if it's the wife. I can tell he got a wedding ring on. But she did ask him, why'd you hit him? And he said, don't play with me. She immediately shut up. 5 seconds into the video. Rewind it, play it, you're going to hear it.
Yeah.
He shut down his whole household. And that aggression, it is not good for a young man growing up nowadays. It wasn't good then, and it isn't good now.
I hear you. I hear you, sis, and I agree to a certain extent. And the reason why I say to a certain extent is this. I'm not, like I told you, I'm not a firm believer that we should be putting our hands on our kids because it stems back to a lot of bad, you know, to when you aggression leads to more aggression to me. Okay.
Accurate.
But let me say this to you though, sis. In all actuality, we don't really know how many times this kid has done what he's done. And we don't know exactly to the extent of what he done. And we don't know how this dad was saving this kid's life. You know, the police look at Instagram and all that stuff too. And that's how they decide sometimes how they're going to deal with you is based on what your reputation is on the street. And if you
I ask you one question? Can I ask you one question? Because I would like to know, as a man, you're a man.
Yeah.
What do you think that father taught that son at that very moment? Well, we don't know what happened, but we do know, what we do know is the father is the aggressor at that point. So if the police, anybody came to that household, the father is going to jail. We all know that.
Okay.
So what
I think what we're missing here is what the dad is trying to keep his son out of. There's a lifestyle.
But he wasn't doing anything. What do you think he was teaching them in that moment when he was totally submissive?
Well, let me say this to you. I'll try to answer one thing at a time.
Okay.
I believe that the message was not to the son, it was to the people that he was trying to relay a message to that boy's friends who he probably feels is dragging his son into stuff. And what a lot of us tend to fail to believe or understand is sometimes the innocent ones and the ones that are looking like they don't do shit be the ringleaders. They be the ones that be making the big power moves and got the do boys out here doing the most. And daddy might be caught in this syndrome of, because the message was not to his son, obviously. It was.
I agree.
It was to
and
his.
That was my statement.
That
was my statement. I agree with you. It was not for the son. That's why I said, what do y'all think he was teaching him? He was trying to teach a lesson to the friends. So why punch his son in the face? Because I rewinded.
Well, because the son got the son. Listen, I'm just gonna tell you this. That kid, if he's doing what he's doing, sis, he's heading down the wrong. Look, there's a lot of kids sitting in the penitentiary. That's the do boy. There's a lot of kids right now sitting 6 feet under that are not the ones that would actually pull the trigger, but they on the Instagram and they holding guns and they holding dope and they doing shit in pictures and imagery that they wouldn't do in real life. They ain't really about that life. And I think he know his son is not about that life.
Okay.
That's what he's thinking. I know he think that because he just handled his son like he a street dude. And what it was an invitation to his son's friends. Like, hey, they ain't shit, and I'm about to show you why they ain't shit. I'm gonna treat you. If they down with you, they ain't gonna let this happen. That's basically what he was doing. He was trying to, look, it's not the best tactic, but what he did is he took this young man, he took his heart away from the streets. And if he didn't take his heart away from the streets just lost their heart for him by doing that to him. Now, is it the right thing to do? No, sis. But if this man may not know another way to save his kids from the streets. He may not know another way. Nobody's really thinking about it. It ain't like his son was caught on a hidden camera stealing some Snickers or shit at the store and he didn't went off. His son was flexing guns and dope on the Instagram. That's a lifestyle. That's something that he's trying to keep his kids from going and getting into. And that takes a lot of influence. Let me tell you this, and a lot of people ain't going to like what I'm about to say.
So just make sure I got this right. I think you were answering my question.
Okay.
You're telling me that the tactic that he used was to keep his son from going to the street, punching him in the face on social media to challenge his friends. Was a tactic of parenting to save your son from the friends?
I think street dudes shit to do. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Street dudes do street shit. Yeah, I really think that. I think that if you go listen, this is how parents.
You've been around street guys. Do you think that young man, how he sat on that little bitty couch with that big old guy? Do you think that he's a street man? Because I've been around street guys.
Yeah, I'm about to answer.
That young man.
I'm about to answer. I'm about to answer.
Okay.
I think that he ain't no street dude in front of his daddy. But I think, like most kids, when they leave the door, they all the way different. And them be the same parents that be like, not my son, not my son, not my daughter, not my daughter, not my dad. I mean, there's a lot of girls out there that didn't get pregnant, and their parents are amazed that it was their daughter. A lot of kids got shot out here in the streets that was in the game, and their parents didn't even know. Because, like, what you mean? Not my kid. You see what I'm saying? They don't even know. This daddy right here, this daddy right here is not letting the streets out hustle him. That's what's going on here, and we don't see it. I'm not gonna let the streets out hustle me.
Okay.
And take my kid away.
And that's what I've been. That was my question. I got one more question, and I'm gonna let you go. So when we parenting children, everybody parents different. So there's females the very same way. If that father was to hit a female just like that, the very same way, very same situation, what would you thought of that situation?
Well, first of
all,
for
a female, just switch the male out for the female, same thing, all of it.
I got it. First of all, it wouldn't have been me as the father handling that. Me and my wife would have had a discussion. Okay, this is when I tell you, did you see the mama handling that? Did you see the mama?
I don't know if that was the mama behind the camera, but I can tell you she had questions within 5 seconds of that video.
Yeah.
5 seconds.
I heard what you're talking about too when she was like, why you do?
Okay.
I heard that too, sis. And let me tell you what it is. You don't know if it's because of the slap or the fact that he's doing what he's doing on the camera. We don't know if we don't know. Look, that ain't a daddy that hit his son for the very first time. Okay, we can see that. She ain't asking why the hell you hit him like this the first time. That boy 19 years old, it looked like. He been hit before, just like the rest of us.
Nah, he look a little younger than 19.
Okay, he can't be no more than 19. Okay, it don't look like it.
True.
Okay. Do you really think
believe he's older
than 19, do you really think that was young. Do you really think that was the first time he's got hit?
I know it wasn't the first time.
Okay, so why would you think?
Ate it, and the father was too comfortable. Let me tell you, as a parent, I would never hit my child in the face, because when you do that,
that's the difference between men and ladies.
You're asking for a fight. That's what he did. He asked for a fight.
No.
And once you fight your kid, people are too comfortable fighting their kid. Don't fight your children like them. And it comes from that old saying, "I'll burn you in, I'll take you out."
No, sis. You know what, sis? You know what? This is exactly what I'll be talking about. And I know I'm gonna lose a few. Me and Dominique seem to be on the same page right now, and I'm probably about to lose her.
Yeah.
But this is exactly what I mean when I say the difference between a man and a woman raising a son. Because of what you're talking about right now, unfortunately, your tactic wouldn't work on a kid that's on his way to the streets. That you glorify and love that street shit, your tactic won't work. Because
that's why they run to the street. Why?
No, it's not.
Because they don't feel love.
No, it's not. That's not true.
People said that was love. That's the only reason why I said that is people said what he demonstrated was love.
Don't get love. Listen, don't get love and prestige mixed up. Street dudes, all street dudes that's out in the street selling dope, they ain't out there because they wasn't loved at home. That's bullshit. I know some guys who mamas.
No. I'm saying streets because I seen one of the comments from one of your listeners put like that's love. He's showing his son love. I'm like, where?
No. What you're missing here is the difference of how a man. I'm not saying that his Listen, I'm not saying that his tactic is all the way right, but I'm telling you, this man know the streets. He know what his son is up against. And sometimes the way you have to break these kids off the street is you got to let them know you ain't about this life. Maybe even your friends ain't about this life. And if they are, they going to have to see me before they get you.
Well, why didn't he just go attack
Wait a minute.
Why beat up his own son?
Because his son did the same thing the friends was doing. The son deserved to be punished. His son is the one, his friends and his son was on the Instagram doing that dumb shit. You still got to.
In that manner, though? You think he deserved that in that manner?
Unfortunately, sis, I don't live in the times where I raised a kid during social media, but I don't think it was right for my mama and your mama and anybody else's mama to whoop us in Gold Circle or out on the streets or have somebody else whoop us on the way home. I don't think that was good. But we lived in an era like they live in an era today where everything is on social media. everything. And he became a fool. He wasn't walking down the street with the guns and the dope. He was on the internet and on Instagram with the guns and the dope. So the dad had to use the same, just like if I'm gonna act a fool in church, I'm gonna get snatched in church. If I'm gonna act a fool on Instagram, then that's where you gotta snatch their asses on Instagram. Do I think that the first time he got hit, I don't think that was the first time he's been hit. No. Okay. And that might have been why he was so comfortable at getting hit, and the mama was comfortable and all of that. But let me just say this to you, sis. She didn't say why you do that. She ain't saying why you do that, why you hit him, because he's used to getting hit, being disciplined. What she's saying why you do that too is why you doing it on Instagram. That's what she's saying. But it's not
working. That's what I'm trying to
tell you. How do you know that?
Must not be. If I know I got this big ass daddy in my house,
you can't say that it ain't
and
working.
I'm flexing on IG or Facebook, whatever may have it. I know my father may have a chance of seeing this.
Man, ain't kids on thinking like that, sis. Come on, man.
Okay with doing that. I'm not gonna do it. You can tell this young man been beat up. You know, you can tell the household is okay with it. You can tell. But what I'm saying is it causes more rage. Violence increases more violence. I have been hit before. And you know what I did when I got hit? I ran in my room, I shut my door, and I pretended my mom was right there and swung in the air. I wasn't gonna swing on her, but to this day, my mother knows that is not a way to raise me, not my other siblings.
She didn't know that at the time.
She did not know that at the time, but I had to become the child to say enough's enough. And it wasn't, let me say that, it wasn't combative where I'm like squaring up, but I'm letting her know I will not tolerate
that. But let me ask you something, sis, about that incident. Did your mama do what was being done in those times?
She did what my mother explained, and this is how I know if I communicate is good. What she explained, she only did what she was taught to do. This is how she was chastised. So this is what she did with her kids. You get what I mean? So with my children, I know like my tolerance was different because I have 4 other siblings, you know, and they were 4, sis, you know, they got, you know, hit, switched, all that. But when it come to me, I didn't like it.
I get it. I understand where you're coming from. I don't think any of us agree that this is good. Because I don't believe
social media.
No, but here's the thing.
Whooped on social media?
Yeah, can you imagine getting whooped on the playground? Can you imagine getting whooped in a restaurant? Can you imagine getting whooped anywhere that's in public? That's the same thing. You get whooped where you act a fool. That's where
I got swatted. I think in that same year, swatting came out to schools. I was swatted, and I think the SWAT and the person stood in my head more than what I did. Like to correct the behavior. It was the person that hit me and the actual hit that stuck in my head versus learning my lesson.
Let me read this real fast.
I'm open for the opinions. I just wanted to hear what you had to say as a man.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about, sis. I'm gonna give you the floor again. This is what I'm talking about. See, our rational thinking. There's a lot of guys that don't agree with this that's on the page, that's, you know, making comments and said some things before we don't agree with it. But I'm telling you, we understand. We can say that he's a bad father. We can say that he made the bad move. We can say all of that. But if you really go down the gut and you look at that's the same daddy that's sitting at a morgue buying a casket for a son and felt like he didn't do enough for his son. I should have did something different to keep him out them streets. I knew what he was doing and I didn't do what needed to be done. And what he did is he challenged everybody in the circle that was pulling his son that way. He challenged them. He said, pull up on me. If y'all go, listen, I got a perfect example for you. You about our age. Check it out. Remember when JJ was being pulled into the gang on Good Times? What did James Evans do? James Evans was going to beat everybody's ass, including JJ. Remember? Did you ever see that episode? Did anybody ever see that episode?
That's a little before my time.
No, it ain't.
It's all right.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't. But that's okay. Some people on here know what I'm talking about. James Evans is the father, and in Chicago, there's tons of gangs. Okay, and
right, and I can say that Wyatt, I have no experience with street.
So,
like
so what you don't understand, sis, what you don't understand,
that is a difference.
what you don't get because you're not from it. You don't understand how these little boys get snatched up into this and how easy it is to lose your child to the streets. I'm telling you, these streets will out hustle your ass. And you got to have somebody that's like that in order to remove them from it. Let me tell you what we used to do. Back in the days, as we got older, my mama didn't whoop me. She didn't whoop me as I got older when I was doing dumb shit. And I'm talking about the 12-year-old shit. By the time you 12, you're not getting whoopings, okay? You know what my mama used to do? She'll punch me in my motherfucking, she'll punch me in my chest. She did the best she can do to be a man in my life.
Yeah, what that happened in my household, they'll go to their body, like hit them in the chest.
That's what I'm saying.
Make them do push-ups, hold hands, but punching them in the face.
All that rationaling, all that trying to be rational and trying to see. Here's the thing. We don't know how severe the Instagram posting was. We don't know exactly who he was posting.
Yeah, we
don't know everything. We don't know how many times he's told him to stay up off that shit. We don't know how many times that man then told him to stay away from them people. They ain't no good. They gonna have you dead. You're gonna be in the streets. We're gonna have to pay bond money, lawyers. Get away from. We don't know the whole long drawn out story. But what I do know for a fact that what his son was doing was going down the wrong direction. And I seen a daddy who might have done the wrong thing, but I would rather be talking about this father who did this extreme action than to be on a GoFundMe trying to raise money to bury his son.
Yeah, I still look at that young man, and I'm gonna let you go after that. I just see that young man missing something.
Yeah, sure.
He's missing something, and I think that household is just too volatile. So,
well, you know what?
Yeah, I don't think he will grow from it.
Hey, sis, really don't. Let me just say this to you on the way out. Okay, let me say this to you, and a lot of people can relate to this. Every kid sitting in the penitentiary didn't come from the projects. Every kid that's sitting in the penitentiary didn't come from a broken up, messed up home. There's a lot of kids sitting in the penitentiary that came from families where their mamas and their daddies loved the shit out of them and had good schools set up for them and had good situations for them. And they chose to go to the streets because mama and daddy lost touch. They didn't know what was going on in their kid's life. They didn't challenge them. They didn't keep up with them. They thought they was doing all the right things and they lost their child. They lost their kid.
So, and that could go both ways. Of what I see is that some of these murderers that goes to these schools and kill people, kill their parents, they come from abusive homes where they've been abused and mistreated. So they have a breaking point. And that's all I was saying. I think if you continuously get hit in the face, you will have a breaking point.
Sis,
and that young man, he's toughening up because that hit didn't phase him.
Well, it wasn't that type of hit either, though, sis. It wasn't. Right, he wasn't trying to knock him out. He wasn't trying to knock him out.
No, he wasn't. But he was proving a point to the friend. But the young man, he's going to challenge his father, and we all know that.
He might challenge him, or he might thank him later. How about that?
Yeah,
there's a couple ways of looking at this.
But he's going to thank him after the challenge.
Well, you never know. His daddy might not beat him up if he ain't doing no crazy shit. I know that sounds crazy, but he might, it might have straightened him out. It might keep him out of that element.
Let's pray. Let's pray, because I would love to see the after. I would love to see the after, because maybe that actually worked for. Like I said, I've never been in the street with no drugs and guns, but I'm from Avondale, so I've been raised in a hood.
You stayed in the house.
So what I'm saying, I've been in the hood.
You stayed in the house.
I've never been. I know it's two different.
Let me ask you something, sis. When you was growing up in Avondale, did you ever play Kiss a Catcher? See, you stayed in the house. You stayed in the house. You ain't even played the game.
I played it. I did. We grew up in Avondale. But the thing is what you grow up from is what makes you. You get what I'm saying? And that didn't work for me. Violence just did not work for me.
I agree.
But I just pray that this family heal from that, and that young man take it of how y'all trying to say it is needed, versus taking it the other way and actually pull a gun, because he's not going to continue to take that as he grows. So y'all have a good night, and I enjoyed the conversation.
All right, sis. None but love. Tell my brother I said what's happening.
Much love.
My brother Donnie. She married to my brother from down the way. We grew up together, Donnie. I missed a call. feel free to call back. Like I said, I only have one line. We're getting close to shutting down, but I only have one line. So feel free to call back so we can get your comments in. 513-310-0546. I hope y'all don't think I'm justifying this man's actions. Okay, I'm really not. But I understand his actions because I've seen grown men cry because they lost their sons to the streets. Do you think he's sitting here going through all that because his son stole a pack of now laters out the store, or stole some jeans, or something, and he got caught? Now, I heard this man's pain of what he was trying to keep his son out of. I know a lot of people made comments about how raggedy and how hurtful and how monstrous his daddy is, and fuck his daddy need his ass whooped. I heard all of that. But how many of you have a son? How many of you who made those comments have a son that has got on Instagram or social media, posed with guns and dope and all that shit that we talk bad about? How many of y'all who made that judgment on the daddy has dealt exactly with what this daddy is dealing with? Raise your hand. Go back in on the comments that you were saying about the daddy and go in and tell us how you dealt with it when it happened to you and your son. Tell us how you dealt with it. Tell us, don't tell us how you would have helped, you would have dealt with it if it was you, where you've never been before. Tell us how you dealt with it when it happened to you. That's what we want, because we all Monday morning quarterbacks. We all know how we would have done it after watching that. Just tell me what you would have done if when your son did exactly what his son did. Because I know some great parents who got all their sons the brand new jeans, the K-Swiss, the Nikes, got them everything to go to school and look so fresh, so clean. And they end up going to the streets. What up, D Brown? That's my nephew. He says he only got a few more slaps before son beat that ass. You know it's coming, It all depends. I know exactly. Listen, that's my nephew. He's right. If this kid is a street kid and he's already lost, which I already know in this video, it ain't gonna be too many more dealings with his son. He either snatched his heart from the streets right there, or he's gone. There ain't no in between at this point. He done went to social media and snatched his heart. Now, if the kid got a heart, he gonna continue to do what he do. And the next time the daddy do this shit, it's gonna be a different situation. If the kid disrespects the dad and go back to the street shit on the gram, or if he already out there serving and doing what he doing in the streets, it's just a matter of time. Daddy ain't gonna do it no more. Daddy probably just gonna throw his hands up. He lost him. That's the truth of that. He's not gonna bully him into being a good guy after he didn't try it the first time. It's over. It's over. He's not gonna try it again. He might catch him, do the same shit, and throw him out. Let me tell you the sons that get punished, D Brown. Let me tell you the ones that get, my nephew. Let me tell you the sons that get the daddies that get punished is who abuse their kids for no reason. You just don't bully your son. You just gonna beat him up because you can. You can't had a bad day at work. You an abusive individual because you was abused. Those are the ones that generally the sons, because I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I had a stepfather for a while. And when I was a young man, didn't I tell y'all at the beginning? I told y'all at the beginning that I lived through something. And this stepfather, who happened to be married to my mama, gave me a whooping one day. I was a little bitty boy. I went to Sands Montessori. I went to Sands down the way. I was a fool in school, so they say. Didn't have a lot of discipline or whatever. So I was told multiple times, stop acting up in school, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, something happened, I guess. All I can remember is the ass whooping I got. He come up there with my mama. This motherfucker did exactly what this daddy did on this tape. Come to the school. I ain't no more than 10. Come to the school and whoop my ass on the playground in front of everybody during recess. He didn't wait for me to come to the office. They went to the office and said, well, Randall Wyatt's he's at recess right now. So they didn't wait. They didn't call me to the office. My mama and my stepfather walked their ass out there to the playground during recess. We playing kickball. And this motherfucker literally grabbed me, gave me a wedgie, all that old shit, drugged me, and gave me an ass whooping in front of the whole school during recess. It fucked me up for life. Life. To this day, I got a problem with it. To this day. I wasn't on no gang shit. I wasn't out there flexing and flaunting and doing all this old goofy ass shit, being the tough guy, and somebody needed to come show me how untough I really was. It wasn't that. But when he did that to me, even to this day, my mama still fucked up about that. I'm sure she is. You can't take it back though, mama. You can't take it back. You let that man do that to me. I'll never forget it. I can't thank him for that. It didn't make me a better person. He didn't save me from the streets. He did that shit because he was an egomaniac. He did that shit because he probably got bullied. He didn't play sports. That motherfucker was a swimmer. He was from a nice family. His daddy and them lived in the Upper Avondale area. His daddy was a lawyer, a judge, and all this old goofy shit. You did that shit because I was the only thing you had power on. I was the only thing you can control, maybe my mother, but you definitely can control me. So you abuse me mentally, physically, and all that old shit. And that wasn't making me no better person. So D Brown, a little truth of your uncle. That's real about your uncle. Your uncle lightweight got abused as a child from a motherfucker mentally and sometimes physically. Now let me explain something to you. That's the little motherfucker, me, who can't wait to get big enough to knock his fucking head off. And that day came. That day came. You're right. You're so right. You're so right. But in this case, you're wrong. That kid either gonna get his heart snatched out from being in the streets and his daddy gonna square him up and keep him right, or he gonna be lost and his daddy gonna say to his wife, he gone. He gone. CK, I'm about to answer your question. He said, Wyatt, did you beat up your stepdaddy? Damn near. Damn near. I got older. See, you got to understand. That's why my grandmother is so important to me, because my mother, once she got married, I didn't really want to be in that situation. So my grandmother took me. You got to understand. My grandmother took me. And my mother and him, they moved and they did different cities. That's why I moved around so much to different cities, because I would go live with them sometimes. That's what got me in New Orleans. They moved to New Orleans. I had to move to New Orleans. But as I got older and he started that, I'm gonna mentally fuck with you shit. As I got older, I got bigger. I got stronger. And he tried that shit one time. D Brown. My nephew, y'all, D Brown. He did try that. He got up like he was going to do something, and he must have forgot. I've been in the gym. He stood up, I stood up. He put his hands on my mama because my mama was like, now you ain't. He shoved her, and we did what we had to do. Now, here's the thing. Growing up down the way, we know a bitch. Excuse my language, folks. It's at that point now. I'm right there with it. We know a soft dude. We know a dude that pick on a soft target. As a kid, I was a soft target. But as I got to that age, I ain't no soft target no more, bro. So you can't do what you used to do to me 4, 5 years ago. I'm different. I'm way different. And he did what he did. And when I stood up and then he put his hands on my mama to move her like he got to do something, then it was, you know, look, I'm from Law Homes, yo. We don't wait to get hit. We hit first. We hit first. And that's when he realized that, you know, I ain't no kid no more. And some people wonder, he died. This same man died. Where we at? We in 22 now. He died maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Let's say 4 years ago. And some people reached out to me. Now, y'all had it. Some of y'all had it all fucked up that knew this man. Because he toted the Bible. See, he always carried a Bible. He always carried a Bible in the house, all that old shit. Then he became, after he retired and all this old shit, he get in the church and now he a deacon and all this old goofy shit. And I'm looking at you like, you know, I got that one look on my face like, they calling you deacon, what? I'm looking at him like, his name Deacon, what? Deacon? Do they know you? Do they know you? Look. Do they know you, bro? Deacon. They don't know you like I know you. And they would give him praises in the church talking about pastor or deacon such and such. I ain't gonna say his name out of respect. I seen his Bible one time. You know how you use your highlighter on your Bible and you highlight the special shit that's being said in the Bible? Well, he would have the whole page highlighted. They thought that was big shit from him. Oh man, every word is important. Brother such and such. Brother such and such highlights his whole Bible. He was highlighting the Bible when he was beating my ass. He was highlighting the Bible when he was manipulating me. He was highlighting the Bible when he was mentally abusing my mother. People don't change, Linda Reed. They flex different in front of other people. You get it? See, the Bible wasn't something new to him once he got out in the world. He was already doing all that fake ass highlighting and this and reading the Bible and going in the bathroom praying for an hour. To who? What God you know is okay with what you doing? This is real shit. This is my life. And people asked me like 4 years ago when he died, that knew that he was my stepfather for a few years before my mother finally divorced him. I didn't have much of a relationship with him. But they asked me like, and looked at me fucked up, looked at me funny. Like, how could you not go to your stepfather's funeral? You know what I told everybody? I was as nice as I possibly could be. I said, I got shit to do. I'm out of town. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina that weekend. People was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Like, how could he not go? These are people that was in the church that knew that this man was my stepfather for years and shit. We didn't have much of a relationship, but they was like, how could this man don't have no respect, meaning me. And I took that shit. Even my sister. Yeah, you ain't gonna go to his funeral? No. I'm not going to go to the funeral and listen to a bunch of bullshit. I'm not going to go to a funeral and listen to them talk about a man that they didn't even fucking know. I knew him. They didn't. I'm not going to sit back and listen to people talk about how great this motherfucker was, how he'll do anything for anybody. I can hear the shit now, not even being there. How he highlighted the Bible and all that old goofy shit. I can hear all that shit. I heard it. What I want to hear that for? You want me to stand up and tell the truth? Y'all think Wyatt Live is different. All I can tell y'all is this. I've had a different life. I ain't saying it's no different than someone you may know. I'm not saying that it was better. It wasn't worse. It was none of the shit y'all hear me on here saying. This is why I take it to heart. I've had a lot of experiences. I've had more experiences than a person my age should probably have ever been through. I've lived in countries. I've lived in cities. I've lived in plenty of states. And in all my travels, I've experienced a lot more than someone that's just kind of steady. That's not shade. That's not me saying that I'm better than anybody. I'm just saying the more mobile you are as an individual, the more experiences you will face in life. And God knows the experiences I've had in life. Some of them have damaged me, and some of them have made me an unbelievable person that I try to be. I try to be an unbelievable person. But at the same time, you know, it's very difficult being real because you're unrelatable. You know, I know that y'all, some of you didn't catch up with me with that. You know, y'all wasn't feeling me on what that daddy did to his son. But what I want you to do is I want you to find a father. Go find a father that lost his son to the streets, who had to bury his son, and just ask him what he think about that video. I don't want to fill in the blanks. I want you to ask that father or ask that mother who lost her son to the streets because they lost touch of where he was doing out here. Ask that mother if the son's daddy was around, would you have a problem with him flexing on his son like that to pull him off these streets? Because ladies, I hate to say this to you. This is one of the reasons why deep in my heart, I know we raise children different. A man is supposed to be a disciplinarian. A man is supposed to be a king of his home, and he's supposed to raise princes and princesses. And you got to understand, a man can get to a desperate point when he's losing. This man is losing his son. He don't want to lose him. He don't want to lose him. And he's willing to die. See, that was not an abuse. That's a different way of punishing that you would done. That was not abuse. How you gauge abuse is what did he do it for? I've been abused. I got beat up because of an allegation of me not doing shit right. He did this, he did that. I told y'all how I was at these schools. Like, I went to schools where it was easy to blame the black guy. We can't handle him. His discipline. Put him on medicine, all that old goofy shit. Thank God my mother didn't let him do that. D. Brown said, my nephew says, it's the exposure for me. He wrong for exposing him on social media. He's about as wrong as exposing him on social media, nephew, as that kid exposing himself as being some gang shit or some street shit on social media. It's an even nonsense move to me. Listen, when you pose yourself on social media, you are striking the word as a certain individual. You sending a message out to people. You putting it out there that you a certain thing. His daddy snatched it from him, and he used the same platform. He used the same platform that his son was acting a fool on. There's a difference here. If there was allegations that his son did this and he didn't see it, and he just going by what they saying out there and he didn't see it on social media and he did all this, I could easily raise my hand and say, yeah, the daddy is abusive. It's my opinion. Once again, we don't know what the daddy been through. We don't know how many kids the daddy already done buried. We don't know how many of the son. We don't know how many friends the daddy has whose sons have been buried. We don't know the scope of things. We all agree it was a bad thing to do. But everybody that says it's a bad thing to do, I need you to raise your hand right now if you've had a son that done exactly what his son did and you handled it different. I just need to know how you handled it. See, I didn't see abuse there. I seen bad judgment. I heard him talking to some people that had been influencing his son. I seen him trying to distance his son away from an element out there, and he used the same format that his son was using to show how bad he was. Y'all act like he did this shit because this kid stole a bag of chips out the grocery store and got caught. And now he gonna put it all out there that his son ain't no thief, ain't no gangster. This man had to show his son, you ain't about that street. You ain't street. And none of your friends are either. And if they think so, pull up. I don't know how else to say it, guys. I'm not saying that the daddy was right. Sorry about that. I'm looking for another slop here, a little video here. I'm not saying the daddy was right, but ask yourself, was your mama or your daddy right when we was getting ass whoopings out in the street? Were they right? Or were they doing what they were taught? Were they doing what they were doing back in the day? Were they using the same areas that we was acting a fool in, giving us whoopings in them same spot? See, Dominique, sister, I knew you and I could see eye to eye on some things. I think this daddy was saving his son. And I think his daddy was saving him from an element that we all talk about and hear about all day, every day. And nobody really wants to face the real factors of how that element is destroying us. Y'all better go back and look at what this motherfucker, what this kid was doing. Because if the daddy don't do what he did, what would you say is next when the kid end up stretched out on the alleyway because some dude trying to rob him for the gun or some dope or something that he flashing? Like this shit don't happen every day. It's the wild, wild west out here. You think I want my son? Let me ask you something. Y'all ain't see them videos of them parents when them little girls go on the and all that old shit, half-ass naked. You ain't seen the parents flex on them little girls and get on IG and be like, you ain't no prostitute, you ain't this, you ain't that, and go off on them and show shit and not undress them, but just go off on them. You want to twerk and all that old shit. These parents are just, they're not our age. They're not our age. These are the same parents that's doing shit on the internet them damn selves. It's another way of, the world has changed. It's changed. Yo, peace and love to everybody, man. I appreciate you guys stopping in. Thank you. It's been real. I'm a little sick and under the weather, but we made it happen today. Thank you. We'll continue this one other day, maybe Monday or Tuesday if you guys want. Tomorrow I will not be on. I might do an early show tomorrow if y'all don't mind. If you feel like an early show would be cool tomorrow, we can try it. Maybe I'll do something around 1 o'clock, maybe right before Emmanuel goes on. Let's see how it goes. People traveling. I'm home. Believe it or not, I get the house to myself for the next week or so. Everybody's gone. Do you know how it is to be a king in your own home and not have anybody around? Everybody's out of town traveling. Let's see. Wife's in Chicago. The kids are in at school, Columbus. Let's maybe try tomorrow. I'll see how I feel. I apologize for being weak today. It's just I didn't have the strength. Peace and love to everybody, man. I gave you these 3 hours the best I could. Peace and love. Love everybody.
People station and the system. DTI. Love them because we love them. Them a call us pirates. Them a call us illegal broadcasters. Just because we play what the people want. Analyze. So them a call us pirates. Them a call us illegal broadcasters. DTI try stop us, but they can't. One station it gonna run England. Two station it gonna run England. Three station it gonna be nation. Everybody want me listen to the PlayStation. Advertiser stage show and make you dance all around. They want take the equipment and I put it in a van. If them broke down one, we make 5 more strong. Down in England we've got lots of radio stations playing the people music night and day. Reggae, calypso, hip hop or disco. The latest sound today is what we play. On and on, off and on and off and on. If them turn it off, we are gonna turn it on back. If them turn it off, we are gonna turn it on back. If them broke it down, we are gonna build it on back. If them take where we record, then we get fresh start. Now me love this station and me love them to a man. We release and don't play and all boom shot. DTI a fight, but them can't stop that. Pirates, illegal broadcasters. Just because we play what the people want. Them a call us pirates. Them a call us illegal broadcasters. DTI try stop us, but they can't. Oh no, they can't. You see, one station it gonna run England. Two station it gonna run England. Three station it gonna run the nation. That's why everybody listen to the feast station. To advertise a dance and ram your sessions. If a music you want to get them new brand. Action station, me say for everyone. If them broke down one, we build 5 more strong. They're passing laws, they're planning legislation, trying their best to keep the music down. No. DTI, why don't you leave us alone? We only play the music others won't. Them a call us pirates. Them
to stage show and make you dance all around. Me say cock for your ears and to the PlayStation. If you want to hear a tune, that is all I know.